head down over our bench. We've worked gathering data and parts. We're intent on producing a really nice product that we're proud of. And we construct our layouts very much in the same way. Scenes are beautifully composed and all the elements brought together. And in a very short time, a matter of days, we've become so focused on what we're doing that the surround disappears in our own personal schedule. So we build our model, and this is what we see. We look at this model, and this is like the photographs we see in all the magazines, which are done by the pro photographers who come to your layout and do the shoot for you. And this is what we believe everybody else sees. However, slightly, this is what that is scotoma at work.
Focus, can we also focus a little?
Righto. Now I can hide from you. Good. So the problem we face is that as the builders of these things, we become so focused on the object of our interest that we begin to lose the surround. The problem with that is visitors to the layout are not that involved. Therefore, they see all the stuff we've stopped looking at. This is what they see. So what I'm going to address is some notions about the whole of the presentation of the layout and the room and all the rest of that. Okay? That's why it's called presenting your layout, and that was the only thing we could come up with to do it. One of the things I think we have to think about is that there's a wonderful concept in live theater that is called the suspension of disbelief. The notion being that you go in and sit down in the theater, the lights go out as they have here, and you buy into the fantasy before you in that illuminated proscenium arch. Same thing in a movie theater. So part of what it takes is exactly what just happened in this room. Turn off the lights that are external to the subject at hand. That's part of the deal, okay? So one of the things is to somehow distract at the same time you attract the person to what you want them to do. Yes, we are playing with people's heads. That's what this is all about. Get in there and play with their perception. It's your movie, it's your layout, you're allowed to do this. There's nothing politically incorrect about it. Okay? Layout design, since I've been in the hobby of 50 years, layout design has gone through significant evolution. I think many of us older folks remember the wonderful layout designs of John Armstrong. Basically, the complex bowl of spaghetti that creates a kinetic game. And we all run chains around in circles, and we have fun entertaining ourselves with it. Many of the Armstrong layout designs were similar to this. A single block somehow in a space. People can move all around it. They look at it from the outside. A lot of model railroad magazine project layouts are done this way, the ping pong table layout and all. It began to evolve. People would put a divider down the middle to make two scenes. I've seen them done where the divider does this and down the middle, and that creates four scenes. I think that in recent time, layout design has become evolved into this around the room or shelf thing with one or more projecting peninsula. It's a great way to use the room, and what it does is it sets up the opportunity to get people to buy into your reality. For me, the model railroad is something that I enjoy constructing. I very much enjoy the research behind it, and I really enjoy sharing it with people as a time machine. I'm modeling 19th century. I want you to come with me to the 19th century. I don't want you thinking about anything else. You got to buy into my trip, or it isn't successful. But everything I'm trying to suggest here helps people buy into the trip. It in no way detracts from operation or any of the rest of them. This is in addition to. So those of you who are operators, feel confident you will not lose that. The idea here is to take that farther. The fun thing here is we have containment. Sometimes we have a lift out, sometimes we don't. We have a peninsula which offers us a couple of opportunities. One of them being split that peninsula in some way, run around it, and what you've done is you've extended the length of the available shelf. Sometimes, on my HONT layout, I had no divider between them. I simply had landforms that rose up high enough that you could not see over them to the other side. And in essence, it cut the thing in half. You could look straight across it. There's some lovely layouts done that way. There was a photograph of George Selio's layout not long ago in MR, in which you saw from this peninsula, let us say, standing here, across to this area. And this area became part of this scene as the distant area behind it. It worked wonderfully. Normally, you wouldn't think that would work. Now remember, we're talking about the one eye. There's a big difference that we all have to remember. We look at these juicy photographs in the model magazines, they're all taken with the proverbial one eye. And in teaching photography, I taught students early in the game that in order to properly judge the potential for a photograph in a scene, don't look at it with two eyes. We're binocular. Camera is monocular. So if you want to find out if it's going to be a good photograph, cover an eye. All of a sudden, the image that looks just great doesn't make a good photograph anymore. How many times a roll of film come back and you look at these scenes that when you made the photograph, they look just wonderful, but you know, it didn't come out quite right. Well, that's because you're binocular and the camera's monocular. So don't let the layout photos in the magazines fool you, okay? Starting off from this point, we can see there's a couple things going on here. We have corners to deal with. And there's actually two corners. There's the corner in the vertical plane. There's also the corner between the wall and the ceiling in the horizontal plane. That's one we'll discuss in a minute. Next slide.